So before the video starts, I wanted to announce that we're having our 10-year anniversary. It's 10 years of doing RBG and you guys supporting us for all those years. So we're going to have a big blowout meetup at Turkey Bay. So if you're interested in coming, you can go to rbgcarts.com/events. You can find out the information. And Turkey Bay is an amazing place to ride. If you have a yard cart with no suspension, a mini bike with no suspension, all the way up to a Jeep, you can come and ride with us. You can take a minivan through there if you want to. But it's a great time. They have camping there on site. You can tent camp or camp in a camper. You do have to have a generator. They don't have power hookups. There is some cabins down the road that you can rent, but they do sell out super fast. So if you're interested in coming and wanting to use a cabin, you might want to do that now to go ahead and book your spot. Even if you don't have something to ride, we would love to see you out there. We have people every year come that don't have anything to ride. They just hang out with us. And Scott, the Deuce Man, is going to have a centipede there, and he'll be giving rides because he'll have up to 4 extra seats. So if you don't have nothing to ride, there's a good chance you can get rode on something. But we'd love to see you out there. We're giving away a ton of stuff. Make sure before the event, if you're planning on coming, to check Turkey Bay's website. We've had times where a big rainstorm or something comes and they'll cancel last minute. So we're going to be updating you guys. So make sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date with everything that's going on. But make sure to check it out. We'd love to see you out there. We're going to have a lot of people out there like EC Carburetors if they can come, and Small Engine Warehouse, and giving away a lot of stuff. And we just want to spend our time with you, hang out by the fire, ride some, and just fellowship. Thank you guys for supporting us for all these years. We hope to see you at our 10-year event at Turkey Bay.
You ruined it.
Glad you wore the right shoes today? To close that gap, deeper notch.
It needs to go deeper on the short side.
Does that fit?
Yeah.
Or does it need flip-flopped?
Alright, let's see if these fit.
First try. Oh wow. Oh wow. These are mainly for when the buggy immediately flips over. We'll be able to protect ourselves. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. X'd out roof. X'd out roof.
Roof is X'd out.
X'd out roof. Add some look to it. Good.
I think these secondary bars coming up and bending in will give it some more look too.
You know, I thought TIG welding was the most annoying sound in the world. That Evolution saw is the worst sound ever. It is awful. We got a 20-degree bend from our good folks in Spain, from the Narasa. So we need to do a 10 degrees notch on this so we can set it at the same angle as the dangle of this one. So they're gonna look weird. I'm just giving the driver more protection. The seat will actually be more forward than this. You know, because you'll wear the wedge wheel. And you'll most of the time be on your side or top. So this is gonna protect you against that. It's not a joke. When you're riding off-road, it's not a joke. All right, so we got one more to bend and then a notch to do. So people ask about our notchers all the time. These are two different JD squared notchers. If you're going to buy this notcher, which it's called the Notch Master, you definitely need to go buy the extension arm that that Swag Off-Road makes. That one comes with it, like with its own version. But I don't think you can use it on here. It's not interchangeable. So I don't understand why JD Squared doesn't make it for it. Swag Off-Road's been making it for years, and you can buy it, because when you start doing larger hole saws and trying to do super deep notches, you can't get this away from it enough to pivot, like your hole saw runs into your tube. Do you understand?
You have a gap on this side. I don't know if you need to twist it a little more. Yeah.
So one of the last pieces of Lonnie's frame, because I think it's looking freaking sweet, if I do say so myself. We have to do a hoop around the engine. We don't have to, it's just going to add a lot of look to it. So we got to find out, we found out our roll cage width, which is 45 inches. We're going to do the same design, which is a 65-degree bend. Then I would assume if a 65 goes in, splits in half, does a, it's like a 30-something degree, like a 35-degree bend at the end to bend it back. So it's going to be bent and go into this 65. So we need to put 2 bends here to draw it in. Now your boy's an idiot, right?
Per the comment section.
Especially when you're in the comment section. I'm an idiot. I don't use any kind of software to figure out bends. I have these protractors, which are for the dies on my bender. I have one for 1 inch, 1 1/4, and 1 1/2. You have to buy those per your dies. So that'll tell me, that's how I figured out that this was a 65-degree bend. So then when I went to test it right in front of Miss Redbeard, I did a test bend and bent a 65-degree with no spring back settings. On my particular bender I can set, but since mine is a CNC bender, you can put how much spring back. Spring back means when you bend something and the die's let off, it's going to spring back, so you want to compensate for that. So how you do that, we've talked about this in other videos, but I'd like to go back over it. I've been a 65-degree bend in that random piece of tube and then put no spring back in the settings. So just dead on 65. Then I took this angle finder, digital angle finder, and looked at what the angle was, what the bend was, and it ended up being 52 degrees. No, it was basically I had to put 8 degrees. I was 8 degrees off. I need to bend it 8 more degrees. So then I just went into my particular bender and put in 8 degrees of spring back, got us a 65-degree bend. It's going to be very close. You're going to be within a half a degree. You're never going to get dead set unless it's like a computer controlled system. So I marked 45 inches on my table. So that simulates the width of the roll cage. Then we wanted it, what did I say, 36? That fly just hit me in the ear. Hit you right between my eyes and hit me in the ear. I think it was 36 inches of depth we want it to stick off. So now we can mark on the table 36 inches and we can place this bend dead in the center of it and find out how much of a bend we need out here with the angle finder and how much leg length we need, where the bends need to start, all that jazz. Does this make sense? Again, I'm an idiot per your comments, but if people don't know, there's a lot of hate in the last video about the engine being so high. The air filter is 10 inches of height on that engine. We measured. Air filter will not be mounted like that, but it makes the engine look even worse. Then I went online. I don't believe this at all. This is the Predator 670. Harbor Freight says that weighs 126 pounds. I went on Briggs and Scrap 'em, and it said, I think it's terrible for that name, that engine weighs 126 pounds. It says it weighs the same. I don't believe that. But, so that means worst case Ontario, it might be 20 pounds more. Do we have a bathroom scale still? We
No,
will
I'm
weigh
not
these
sure.
2 engines to see the weight difference. The reason I'm saying that is my 670 buggy, the engine is the exact same height because I didn't want the frame to be longer. That's the reason we put the engine up high. We want to add area to the back. That buggy will fit sideways on my trailer the way it is. We need to pack as much stuff on that trailer as possible to get to the meetup. Our 10-year anniversary, I hope you're coming. You watch this buggy flip all day long there. You make fun of me right to my face. This buggy looks dumb because it's got small tires. There's no back section. When all this gets added, it'll look good.
No.
Dave, Orange 670 Buggy Dave, that's what I've always called him. He showed up to our meetup back in the day, I think our second meetup, with an Orange 670 buggy, engine mounted just as high. Thing is capable as crap. He climbs hills with it, everything. Like people think, yes, it would be better if we could drop it, but it's impossible in this frame without doing a crazy amount of work. And then we might as well start building our own frame instead of using this one. So I'm gonna make another measurement and then I'll draw this out on the table and figure out how these bends need to come in. I gotta do another test bend with this scrap piece to find out. There's better ways to do this. I use my bender so randomly. It's like, could be months. It's been months since I've used it. Because we'll do engine builds for a while and people be like, where's the buggy builds? I'll start building buggy, where's the engine builds? So you gotta bounce back and forth. So I don't have time to really learn like how much the tube's stretching and shrinking. I'd forget it by the next time. Basically need to make me some documentation. Okay, so we'll get this table cleaned off. We'll draw it out and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this line here, that's what I love about Sigmund tables. I've been rough on this table, by the way. This line here simulates the outside of the tube. I didn't want to get started on the edge, I want to start here. And then we mark the line out right there. So that's the width of our roll cage. And then I wanted 32 inches of length to it. I'll have a little bit more leg length because I cut this tube a little long, so we can, if we need more, we can before we do the notches. So I measure from here out 32 inches. Then you can basically draw a box, and that's how wide and how long it needs to be. Then you just need to find out the angles to get to those desired points. Since I already knew this was a 65, I'd pre-bent this 65 degree. Found the center of it. It's really hard finding this. Maybe someone out there knows a good way to find the center of a bend. I know there has to be something with, it's just hard to measure, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe I just don't have the right tools or good enough mind for it. So I found center by using my protractor. It was easy to find center there. Mark center on the table, laid this out and measured, got my bend straight. But you can do this with protractors like this. You can lay it out, mark it all out. So I found out this was a 65, that was a 55 degree bend. It's going to be a little more, so we're going to add like 2 degrees to it, because you can always, it's easier to tweak out a bend than bend it more like by hand. We can also do that with our table. So now if we move this out of the way, this is where our 55 degree or 57 bends will start. They need to happen, the X, the bend needs to happen in this area here, not up here. You know what I'm saying? On both sides. So if we slide this out of the way, you'll see where I drew this out. And then I went and made me a quick 55 degree bend, and I marked where my bender die starts, because mine has a line on it. I hope this makes sense. And if I laid, since this line here is simulating the outside of the roll cage and this line simulating the outside of this, I just laid it in there and found out where this bend started, marked on the table. Then I can lay this tube on the table. Normally we're not doing a weird point like this. We're doing like a box style, you know, on most buggies. So this is a little different. Most people won't be doing it like this. They'll be doing like either a box or maybe where it angles in, but this is how you can do it. I hope it makes sense. I need to make its own video showing this. And this is how an idiot builds a roll cage.
No degrees.
I'm sure, no degrees.
No paper.
Other than these degrees. But I mean, I taught myself to do this. If people's going to come at me in the comments, freaking do it. It's good for the algorithm. Because I had literally taught myself how to use these benders, notchers, everything. Like Centurial sent us, they're a great company. And if you have a 3D printer, you can download their stuff for free. You just have to buy their hardware for it. They're an awesome company, and they're trying to help people make roll cages. And they have some rulers that we need to get that are throwaway. You can buy these in a paper form. So when you're sitting in your car wanting to make a roll cage, you can set these, tape them and staple them, whatever, and then you know the exact bend. It shows you where the bend needs to start. But since I had already kind of learned myself how to do all this, I'm stuck in my old ways. So this is how I do it. And it took me, what, 10 minutes to do this or less? Yeah. And I know this is going to be right to a few degrees. So.
But before you had your table, you drew them in the floor. Yeah,
I did it with chalk or a marker on the concrete. Chalk is a good thing if you got a flat surface. Use a wood table, anything. As long as you have enough space to draw it out. We normally still do draw it on the floor if it's a bigger, or if we got too much crap piled up on this freaking thing. But people's gonna throw you under the bus and talk crap about you no matter how you do it. You can do it to NASA standards, if you believe we went to the moon. And people would still give you crap. Guess what? I'm out here doing it, living it. You know what I'm saying? We're about to flip this buggy 4 times. Just taking it off the jack stand, we're going.
You don't learn unless you try.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get this bent, and then we can notch it, get it put on the frame. Then it'll pretty much be done. Other than needing to weld it out and brakes and steering and chains and 45 days, baby.
Okay.
I got confused for a minute because I'm not used to building a shape. I was like, wait, did I mess up? I didn't. Thought I did for a minute. Leg lengths are different length, but it's fine, because we can cut them. So when I started the bend, my tubing tweaked when it engaged, and look how bad the bend is off. And that's because, like I said, as soon as it started, I slipped and it pulled it down. So all we have to do, and that's another beauty of us having this table, is we can clamp this down with multiple clamps, and I can overhang this bend here. And if we throw a level on it, we know how unlevel it is, and we can slide a jack handle inside this or over it, whatever you got, a tube to give us some leverage, and we can tweak this bend out and get this tweaked. This don't happen often. This just happens as soon as I set it in the thing. So we're real close. We're going to tweak this out, then we can measure what we think, and we can slide this and mark our notch and cut the excess off, notch this so we know it's dead square. The notches or the leg lengths are the same. We got to notch them on the angle because we're putting it off the back like this. It's 1.5 inch 14 gauge. Slip. Damn, look at that. Couple tweaks. And she is Gucci. Okay, so that's why we have two different notchers, is this one will do negative and positive notches. Alright, so I do have to notch and bend another one to go here. These are weird angles on a slant with a bend. This is very hard to make, actually. So now I can go ahead and throw my seatbelt bar in, and then I'll do this one off camera, but you can see what we're going for. Just a little bit more shape to the chassis. And that's Becca's idea. Becca's a little smart cookie.
I like to decorate things.
She's a Buggy exterior decorator.
Now if we can get Lonnie to paint it two-tone.